So what happens when you're selling a life insurance or final expense plan and your prospect says, I already got insurance through work? How can you still sell a policy while dealing with this objection? My name is David Duford, owner of Duford Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell final expense, annuities, and Medicare, both face-to-face and over the phone. So the purpose of putting this training together is I had a conversation with one of my telephone reps, Brad, and he ran into this objection from one of his leads. The gentleman he was talking to said he already had insurance through work and was more or less pleased about what he had, but pressed upon it, he didn't really quite know what he had. And sometimes this can be a big hang-up, whether you're selling face-to-face or over the phone, any kind of life insurance. How do you unpack this objection, and how can you still close on the first call and appropriately deal with it? So let me kind of give you the backstory to how life insurance works through work. There's typically two different kinds of policies you can have through your employer or through your client's employer. The first kind would be just a group type of plan. Typically, it's very low in premium. There might not be any premium at all, and it's only a multiple by the tune of 2 to 5 times the employee's wage. And then the other plan is a voluntary plan. It's payroll deducted before the check clears and is deposited to the employee. And it can range depending on the type and style of plan that it is. What I have found in this market is specifically final expense. That's where I'll stay in this conversation since most of you are in final expense, is that most of our clients end up having a group term insurance plan. And the thing about group plans is that they usually don't cost a lot of money, like I said, and they're typically term insurance. And they typically cancel when the person retires, hits a certain age, 65 or 70, or maybe gets hurt and cannot work and becomes disabled. So how can we sell against that? Quite easily, actually. The first question I'll ask when they tell me they've got coverage, as I say, or the statement I make is, great, congratulations, you actually care enough to cover insurance. That's what I'm thinking, because most people don't even bother with the cheapest kind. My follow-up question typically is something like, how much a month are you paying for your coverage? Typically, they'll say, oh, just a couple of bucks, or I really don't think I'm paying anything, or it's very little. Very rarely will you hear somebody say, oh, I'm paying $50 a pay quarter or pay every biweekly or whatever. It's taken automatically out. You very rarely hear that. Then my follow-up to that is, okay, so you're paying a low premium amount. What are you doing right now for, where's your policy at? Can we take a look at your policy and see kind of how things work? And then they'll follow up and say the same thing. We don't have a policy or anything to show you. We just had it when we started working. And so I'll confirm by saying, okay, so it sounds like, and how much coverage do you have? And usually they'll say, my wage times 2 or something. Then I'll say something along the lines of, okay, so what I'm hearing is you've got a little bit of coverage. You're not paying a lot of money for it. What happens, Mr. Jones, if you get sick and you can't work anymore or you retire? What happens to that coverage? A lot of the times they'll say, I don't know. Sometimes they'll say, yeah, I don't think it comes with me. And for the times where it says, I don't know, I'll make a suggestion. I'll say, well, most likely what you have is the kind of plan that's only good while you work there. Think about it this way, Mr. Prospect. If you're only paying a couple of dollars a month for this $50,000, $100,000 plan, where's the catch? Why would an insurance company only collect $25 a year, right? $2 a month times 12 months, and then pay out $100,000. How are they going to make any money, right? They just have to have a couple of losses before it's a big problem. Do you see where I'm going with this? And usually they'll say, yeah, you got a point. How can the insurance company make money at that type of level? And so I plant in their mind the seed of doubt. Like, that does sound like it's too good to be true, like there's a catch. And they'll think of that themselves. Yeah, what is the catch? And I'll say, well, the catch is that you don't have coverage when you most need it after you retire or you can't work anymore and you lose your job. Usually these plans go away at 65 or 70. And so what I do that's different, Mr. Prospect, is I provide a private plan. It is your own plan, no matter where you work, or even if you work, it is still with you. And it's the kind of plan that will be in place no matter what, if anything, happens to you throughout your working years or your retirement years. My clients choose these plans because they're smart. They've realized that they can't depend on the kind of plans like what you have. And so they know it's smart to carry something else that will take care of final expenses or take care of whatever their requirements are when they pass away, and know that they have some level of peace of mind. Does that sound something that would be of interest to you if we could find something for you like that? So that's how I deal with that particular question. Again, most of the time, that's what you're running up against in final expense. So use that to your advantage. You will unearth opportunities all over the place like that, even if you can't review the existing policy. If you can just reason with them enough, and again, think about it, it doesn't make any sense. How can an insurance company have a profitable product charging such low rates for such a high amount of coverage? There's got to be a catch in there somewhere. Usually in our world, it's accidental coverage, right? The catch is you got to die by accident. In this case, you got to die while you're employed. So that's how you deal with it. It's pretty simple once you learn and practice this particular rebuttal technique, and you'll get more people want on your side and convert more opportunities to sales. If you like this kind of training, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and feel free to leave a comment below if you've ever had to deal with this and how well you did, and if you have any kind of tips or advice to give everybody else. And then also, if you haven't seen the links above or below, click them to go learn more about joining my agency, where you can learn how to become a top producer working for El Jefe right here in front of you. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. We'll see you next time, and have a good one. Bye.